We can officially call the House of Representatives a hot mess express. Republicans making a fourth attempt to elect a new speaker. Congressman Mike Johnson of Louisiana winning 128 votes in a closed-door meeting Tuesday. Just a few more than Representative Mike Emmer, who was nominated and then promptly dropped out. Congressman Rich McCormick of Georgia appeared on the Hill and was asked by our Blake Berman if he supports Johnson for Speaker. Take a listen.
You're a yes on Mike Johnson if he's next?
I don't want to disparage Mike Johnson, absolutely Mike Johnson, or a box of donuts. I'm just trying to get somebody in place so I can do my job.
Hey, I mean, a box of donuts would be doing just about as much as Congress is doing right now. From the Hill, Niall Stanage, hi. You know, as soon as I heard Emmer dropped out, I'm like, again? Really?
It's just a carnival of chaos at this stage, really, isn't it, Adrienne? I mean, this is just a debacle that has been going on for 3 weeks since they ousted Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. Fourth time around, Mr. Johnson, Congressman from Louisiana, maybe he will get the votes. But overall, this has been an embarrassing episode for House Republicans, as many of them acknowledge. I've seen it being described by Republican members as a dumpster fire, sad, and various other colorful terms.
Well, I mean, it's just like, stop criticizing each other and get a vote in. Was it really President Trump in his post on Truth Social? Let me read this. I have many wonderful friends, he writes, wanting to be Speaker. Rhino Tom Emmer, who I do not know well, is not one of them. He is totally out of touch with Republican voters. That happened before he dropped out. So people are saying, you know, it was the mighty word of Trump that caused Republicans to back away from him, and he just had to just quit.
That's at least halfway true, if not more so. There was already opposition to Congressman Emmer from the most Trump-loyal flank of the GOP. There were about 24 people at that stage seemed against him. But I think when the former president made that post on Truth Social, that certainly both stiffened the spine of the Emmer opponents and really spelled the writing on the wall for the congressman himself. He dropped out rather abruptly soon after that.
Well, maybe it was the straw that broke the camel's back, but I recall them actually trying to say, oh, well, Trump actually said some nice things about McCarthy, but it didn't work, and he got ousted anyway. So, it's all more chaos. What do we know about Congressman Johnson?
Well, we know that he is much more of a close Trump ally. He backed the former president's false claims seeking to overturn the election in 2020. He also served on his legal defense team during the then president's impeachments. So very much aligned with the former president, also a very socially conservative figure. He himself is an evangelical Christian. He's been quite vocal on the contentious issue of whether gender identity should be taught to children, you know, below a certain age. And so those are the main points of it.
Right, and that is very tied to a lot of people of faith, a hot topic. Johnson is a long way from those 217 votes, at least based on what we've seen from that closed-door meeting. But if Republicans really want to send a message to the American people that they want to get back to work, why aren't they moving forward with that bill presented to empower the temporary speaker, Patrick McHenry, so at least they can conduct some business?
So I'll try and answer that without getting into very boring congressional procedural stuff,
please
Adrienne. I will do my best. Essentially, some people think that it would be unconstitutional because McHenry was initially appointed by Kevin McCarthy. He wasn't elected. So people who are, let's say, strict constitutionalists worry that expanding his powers would be a little bit shady, in essence. They think it would be better to go through the normal procedure and elect a speaker. The problem, of course, is that that procedure has got bogged down in these weeks of infighting.
So they think that McHenry will be like McCarthy Part 2. So they say, let's actually go through a vote. Pretty much.
Exactly. And let's get someone who has the full support of the Republican caucus.
Nobody so far has the full support. Both parties need to get their act together. And Niall, as always, it was a lot of fun talking to you.
Always a pleasure, Adrienne. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.